Something to keep in mind when you're in the hunt for an H2 is that people have different standards. There are people out there who are going to say that their Hummer H2 is a 10 out of 10. It's perfect. It's an incredible H2. And then in reality, if I were to like look at that H2, I would say it's like, this is like a 2 out of 10, 3 out of 10, 5 out of 10. You know, maybe it is a 10 out of 10, but in all likelihood, I'd be willing to bet that most people are exaggerating on the condition of their H2 that they're selling you. If I come across someone that, again, they smell like booze, they're abusing alcohol, or it looks like they're on drugs, you know, these are turnoffs. If someone is, you know, simply dressed like an idiot, all right, I go on YouTube and you watch reviews of people discussing the H2, and they're dressed like idiots. And you know what the reviews are? Or the quality of the review? It's absolutely trash. So you see someone dressed like an idiot, they probably are an idiot, and therefore, by product, the H2 is going to be, you know, in bad shape in one way or another. I know someone might be saying, you know, you really shouldn't be judging a book by its cover. Yeah, I get it, but let me tell you, when there's $25,000, $30,000 on the line, before I go and I start throwing around hard-earned dough, I want to take as many precautions as I can. E-brakes, typically they need replaced on these vehicles. And I've actually even seen headrests. When I say headrests, I mean driver's headrests and passenger headrests missing on these vehicles. I guess there's some people, they drive around without a headrest. Something to keep in mind. What else? The airbag sensors, sometimes those need replaced. So again, just little things like that. You know, it'd be what, about $200 for the airbag sensor, probably like $100 for the headrest. Again, you start adding all these things up. This is a couple $100 here and there. You can use it as, you know, a negotiating deal. Okay, let's talk about my Hummer H2 that's not here yet, that I've spent thousands of dollars on already. I bought it on eBay for $15,300. After taxes and title, eBay handled it all, came out to $16,600. I'm flying first class to pick it up, so $200 flight. We're at $16,800. It's going to be about $300 in petrol and tools to get the vehicle back. Brings us up to $17,100. The frame will need powder coated next year, so that's approximately probably about $400. Definitely could be more. The frame looked like it was in pretty good shape already because it was a Southern vehicle. Regardless, it will need done. Air filter, $60. Headlights, $60. Daylight running lights, $20. Trim, restore the trim, $100. Belts, $50. Valve cover, $130. Relays, $50. Gaskets, $100. Wiper blades, $40. Radiator, $300. External transmission oil cooler, $200. Fuel pump, $400. Transmission stuff, I haven't even ordered some of this stuff, $150. Hoses, pulleys, cleaner, $70. Roof lights, interior lights, around $200, could be more. Fluids, $400. When it comes to fluids, I am an AMSOIL dealer, so if you do want to support the channel, that would be very cool to see somebody sign up. Nobody's signed up yet. So if you want to be number one, please be my guest. What else do I have for you guys? Fluids. When it comes to fluids, here's something else. Big pro tip. I recommend buying, some things by the case. It's going to save you money. And I can't tell you guys how often this has happened where I have gone to change out the fluids on my vehicle, specifically oil, and I'm like, I'm out of oil. And then you have to go and order it, and you're like, it's annoying. So I definitely recommend keeping or ordering some extra oil and oil filters on the side. It's a good habit to get into. Moving along, to get your vehicle tuned by Black Bear Performance, you're looking at about $600. Lights, limited edition lights, I put $70. It's probably going to be more. That list that I just ripped off to you guys is about $3,000. So now we're at $20,200 car insurance. You know, I usually pay my car insurance 6 months at a time. So there's whatever, you know, $600. New leather seats. When it comes to the seats on these H2s, quite often they're faded, cracked, ripped. And this is where you get into like the Hummer H2 game. Do you want to just leave it as is? Do you want to put some cheap replacements in? Do you want to go high quality? So again, you could be anywhere from $500 all the way up to $2,000 for high-end Italian leather. So I put that probably most people, from my personal experience, they choose the cheapest option. That's just how people are. So now you're at $20,700. You know, if you choose the high end, again, you'd be at like almost $23,000. Fuel injectors need refurbished. Parts, you know, there's parts that, again, you're gonna need to hunt down. Rock bars, it's common. Steps, maybe a tire carrier, roof rack. Maybe you purchased an H2 and it's got chrome cowl pieces, but you want to have, you know, matching yellow. So tracking those down off eBay. Battery, most people put in weak batteries. So you're looking at what, $400 for a new battery. Time, you know, that's a big one right there. So again, right there, boom. You know, what was the vehicle? What, a little under 17? You know, 17K just to get it to my house. And then, you know, to do it correctly, you're looking at, you know, 6K right off the bat if you really want to get it looking good and have some, you know, great quality parts inside the vehicle. Okay, if you're a first-time Hummer H2 owner, you've never worked on cars before, I've discussed this in the past, but I'm going to bring it up again in this video. Tools, I would say $2,500. That's a nice number. It could be definitely more. It could be as high as, you know, $4,000 if you want to get some higher quality or more tools. So again, when it comes to tools, $2,500 at a minimum. In regards to like the minimum dollar amount, if somebody said to me, yellow blue H2, I want to buy a Hummer H2, what's the minimum cost? Just to get this thing tuned up, ready to go, I'm willing to do the work myself. How much money in parts? I would say about $3,000. It's a very nice number to really get the H2 just back up to speed, fluids, radiators, belts, pulleys, fuel pump. That's a nice number, all right? Now, I've discussed this as well. These vehicles, from 03 to 07, they've got the 4L60 line. Approximately, they last 125,000 miles, approximately. So for a lot of you guys, could be looking at a potential transmission rebuild around the corner. There's one guy on this posted on my channel. He said he bought an H2. A month later, transmission failed. He said he was really upset. You know, if the guy would have known what he was getting himself into, and if he would have saw my videos, he would have known, hey, you know, I recommend that you guys, if you plan on driving these vehicles a lot, you don't want to get stuck somewhere, I recommend just biting the bullet, go out, either do it yourself. It'll be about $4,000 if you do it yourself. That's high quality Sonex parts. If you're going to pay someone, a shop, you're looking at $6,000 to $7,000. You know, when in doubt, round up when it comes to a Hummer H2. I would say if you're a first-time Hummer H2 owner, you're brand new, you've been watching my videos, you're excited, you want to buy one of these trucks, I would say that a good number would be $15,000. That's a good, safe number for tools, parts, potential transmission rebuild in the future. Maybe you want to have a mechanic do some of the things you don't feel comfortable doing. I get it. I understand. It's a learning process. Don't feel bad. All right. Trust me, it took me 2.5 years to figure this beast out. And there's a couple things I'm still working on. I'm still learning about the vehicle. So I would say that if you're somebody out there and you have tools, you plan on buying an H2, you've got experience working on cars, I would say $10,000 on top of the purchase price is a very nice cushion. Example, case in point, you buy an H2 off someone for $20,000 cash, you have $10,000 in reserve to work on the vehicle. You have experience on prior vehicles. That's a very nice price point. Now, if you guys were to buy an H2 with less than 100,000 miles, the prior owner is a good owner, in all likelihood, you're only going to have to put approximately $5,000 into that H2.